Hello and welcome to another X-Pro tutorial for SolidWorks modeling. In this tutorial, we will be creating this flashlight enclosure. First, we will create the bottom cap. After that, we will create the main body. Then we will create the top cap. And after that, we will just create the dummy, which basically represents the internal components of the flashlight. This will be the final product. After that, we will add some of the shelf parts, which will be this glass here on the top. And we will have two more parts, which are these O-rings for the ceiling. We can begin, as we said, by creating the bottom cap. Here, this is what we want to make. Let's begin by creating a new part. We'll begin by creating a sketch on the top plane. Let's right-click here and select Sketch. I will draw a circle from the center, making this 113 millimeters. And I will offset this circle using offset entities by 4 millimeters. And let's say we can extrude this sketch 25 millimeters. So let's go to Features, Extrude Boss, Blind, 25 millimeters upwards. We can create another sketch here. We can do it on the top plane or on this surface. I will create it on the surface. I want to convert this inner circle, so let's just click on it, and in the Sketch tab, say Convert at this. We immediately have a fully defined sketch that we can extrude. Let's go to Features, Extrude Boss, and type in 5 millimeters, but we have to change the direction because we want it inwards, and make sure that Merge Results is turned on. This will give us only one body here. Let's save this part in order not to lose our data. I'll save it here and name it Bottom Cap 1. Next, we need to add some cuts here on the side. Let's make a sketch on this surface. I'll just draw a circle here in this point and make it 3 millimeters in diameter. And now, it's connected to the outer edge, but I want it horizontal to the origin. Let's just extrude this through all. Let's select Extrude Cut and say Through All. Now I don't want to do this all around the edge of this part. We can simply do a pattern that will actually make as many of these cuts as I want. We can use a circular pattern. Since this is a circle here, under the linear pattern, you can open the drop-down menu and find a circular pattern. For direction, I will select this edge here. For features, I will simply click here on this. By default, here, we have 8. But I want 50 of these cuts, and I want them equally spaced, 360 degrees. So all around the circle. We can make this edge a bit nicer by adding a chamfer. We can make it 1 millimeter, 45 degrees, and I can click here on this edge. We can clear this and simply click on this surface here. There we go. It has selected all the edges here. And let's just confirm the command. I can add fillets to these edges here. We can use a 1 millimeter symmetric fillet. Let's click on this phase edge here. And SolidWorks will automatically offer this menu here, which has several selection options to help us with selecting. I don't have to select each one of these edges. I just have to select one of them. And then this manual will appear. And you can see these purple lines which indicate which of the edges will be selected, and this is exactly what I want. Let's confirm the command. I also want to add fillets to these edges here. Again, I will select the fillet feature. Let's make this 0.5. And let's select this edge here. For example, SolidWorks will again offer me a quick selection toolbar. I don't want it on this other side. I just want it on this side. And for these two edges, which is exactly what I want. So let's select it. This is going to take a bit of time for SolidWorks to select these edges, and there it is. Let's just confirm the command. So far looks good. Let's save the part. Now we have to make a place where the O-ring will be placed. So actually we need to make a groove here, somewhere around here to cut it. We can use the Revolt Cut feature. So firstly, I need to create a sketch. Let's create a sketch on the front plane, right-click Sketch, and let's say Normal too. In order to see where I'm drawing, I will first make a cross-section. Confirm this. Let's see if I can draw now. I'm in sketch mode already. And what I need is a line to us. No, because I'm in the cross-section view. I cannot select these points. So what I have to do is make this wireframe. It's a bit trickier to see because we have a lot of lines. Let's draw it like this. Connect these two, the midpoint of this line and the midpoint of this line, and make this line horizontal. Now let's add some dimensions from here to here. I want this to be 1.88. Let's see what else we have to do. This is not connected. I'll have to turn off the cross-section. Still didn't do it. But there is another way. Let's make this visible again. Try it like this. So I made a wireframe again. And I will select this point here. It's a bit farther away. Here it is. And make this point coincident with it. It's a bit tricky to see because we have all of these cuts here. And let's add sketch fillet point 44 here. And here just say yes. And what I will need also is a center line from the origin upwards. It doesn't have to be coincident to anything. It will still be a fully defined sketch. We created a sketch for the groove. Now we have to make the revolt cut. So let's go to Features. We've all cut for a sketch. I will select this one here, just click on it. An axis of revolution. I have to clear this, or delete it, and select this one. You can see the preview it. We'll cut the groove all around the circle. We can check the cross-section now. Let's save the part again. Let's just move this face outwards a bit. And let's go to the surface, move face. Let's select this face here. Just select offset. I will flip the direction. Let's say 1.143. This is exactly what we want. So we want it offset outwards, and let's confirm the command. Next thing we want to do is insert a thread here. The way we can do it is by selecting Feature Thread. If you don't have it here, like I do, simply type here, thread, and select the command. For thread location, we will select this edge here. Start location will be this phase. We wanted to start at 270 degrees. And for the end condition, I want it up to this edge here, where the groove is. And here, we have to add an offset. Let's make it 2.5 millimeters, just for the thread and cross the groove. And here I want an inch die. Let's make it for 12. Let me just find it here. Here it is. This looks good. And in order for this to be finished and the end of the freight to look natural, I will simply rotate this end of the surface. Let's go to the surface move phase. I will select rotate. I want to select this face. And let's rotate it 60 degrees around this edge here. Let me just see if I can select it. And this looks good. Let me just check this Fred Future again. This offset was turned off. For some reason. Let me just check. I accidentally switched off the offset. So this is not good. Now, my move face feature is not okay. So I have to edit it. So right-click, edit, and the edge is missing. I'll just add a 1 millimeter fill to this edge here. Let's go to Features, Fillet, 1 millimeter, and select this edge. The bottom cap is finished. Let's save the part. Let's make the view isometric. We are finished with the bottom cap. Next thing we will create is the casing or the main body. So it's this part here. This is how it looks like. We will begin again by creating a new part. First thing I will do is create a plane by offsetting this star plane here. And let's make this 190.5 millimeters. I can rename this plane and call it lens stop height. And I will hide this plane for now. First thing I want to do is create a sketch on the plane, double-click the scroll button to make everything visible. And I will begin by creating a center line, draw it here, and make its midpoint and the origin coincident. Let's make this line 52. Now draw a circle here, and for diameter put 88 millimeters. Let's make the center of the circle and the origin horizontal. I will make the edge of the circle and this point coincident. And now I just have to draw several more lines starting from here to the left. Let's just see what we have to do to make this fully defined. I need to cut off or trim this axis part of the circle for 100 millimeters. Let's use the Trim Entities tool and check this here, and let's just drag it over. We have the fully defined sketch, and I just have to add fillet to these corners. Let's use a sketch for it, make this 6. And let's add them here and confirm the command. We can exit this sketch, We will need it later. And now, let's just edit this sketch and add one center line from the origin to the center of the circle. And now, we can exit the sketch. Let's create a new sketch on this new plane we created. I will hide this sketch that we created. Let's make a circle. Say that these two are equal, then I will offset this circle inwards. So let's just reverse that direction by 2 millimeters. This is how it's supposed to look so far. Let's exit this sketch and I will create another sketch on this new plane lens. Stop height, let's say normal 2. We can hide this second sketch recreated. And what I will do is offset this sketch here, the first one I created. So what I will do is right-click and say select chain and simply offset this 0.5 outwards. And let's create another circle. We can see that from here to the center of the circle, we have 29.5. And now we can extrude this sketch. Let's go to Features Extrude Boss. Let's change the direction and stay up to the surface. And for the surface, I will select the top plane. Let's confirm this. And we can save this part. Let's call it casing. I can hide this sketch here, and we can create a new sketch here on this surface or right-click sketch. Let's look at it from the top. And I can create a circle starting from the center of this one. Let's say that this is 140 millimeters in diameter. We can extrude this with the extrude feature. I want it blind in the other direction, 26.5 millimeters. Now we can create another sketch here. Let's convert this outer edge. Let's convert and offset it inwards by 6 millimeters. Let's just edit this and convert this edge. I should have only extruded this part. This is what I wanted. I need this point opening here. Now we have to close a part of this opening here. Let's make a sketch on this surface. I will simply convert these edges. That's like them and convert them. I can use a 3-point arc, for example. Connect these 2 points and make this arc and the circle tangent. There we go. And we have a fully defined sketch which I can extrude. Let's go to Features Extrude and change the direction. So blind, 105 millimeters. Now we have an opening here, which will be suitable for the internal parts of the flashlight. We can add a fillet to this edge to make it not so sharp. I will make it 1 millimeter. Now we have to create a sketch on this normal surface here. And what I will do is convert this outer edge, and I'll create a new circle from the center of the same circle. Let's make it 113 millimeters. And we can use Feature Cut Extrude and let's say blind, 20 millimeters in depth. You can see that SolidWorks immediately selected the area between these two circles. We can do the similar thing here on top. Right-click on this surface, convert this edge, and simply offset it inwards. So let's reverse the direction 2.5 millimeters. And we can extrude this sketch. Let me just see if the offset wasn't accepted or confirmed. So let's do it again. Let's just reverse the direction and confirm this command there. Let's go to Features, Extrude Cut, and select 10 millimeters, save the part. Let's just drop this surface 1 millimeter downwards, but let's make a sketch or right-click, and let's convert this blue surface here. And I need to convert this inner circle also, and that just extrude it 1 millimeters down. Okay, next thing we have to create is cuts. Basically, for fingers to grab the casing, we can make them here on this surface. I can create a sketch here. This is the surface that we are drawing on. Let's make it something like this. Firstly, I will create a tangent line, the edge of the circle. They can be tangent, and the center of this line and origin horizontal. And now I can convert this outer edge also. And let's start sketching here by creating a line. Let's make another one here. We can connect these two lines with the center line and make this center line and this center line midpoint horizontal, making these two center lines parallel. We can say that from here to here. You can add a 3-point arc, making it tangent to this line. This line also. This point to this point should be 16, and the radius of this arc should be 7.5. Let's see what else we have to do to make these fully defined. So we have to say that this point and the origin are horizontal. Another dimension we can add is from this point to the center of the arc and to the outer edge of the circle. we can say 1 millimeter. And since we have this edge fully converted, I need it just in this area. So I will trim away this axis. And you can see that now here we have this closed contour, which is fully defined, and we can cut it. Let's go to the features, extruded cut. It looks good. Now we have to make a circular pattern of this cut. Let's go to features, linear pattern, and manually select circular pattern. For direction 1, I can select this edge, for example, and say 20 times 20 instances for features to be pattern. I want this cut here, and let's confirm it. Next thing is to add some chamfers. So I can add the chamfer here, go to the chamfer, make these 9 millimeters, and set this edge. There it is. We can add some fillets, for example, to this edge here, and all around for each one of these instances, let's make it 10.75. It's like this one here, and then simply find the appropriate quick selection menu, and here it is. Confirm it. Next, I will add a 1 millimeter fillet to these edges here. I have an option to do it all around. Here it is. But it won't work this way, so I have to clear it and do it again. Sorry, let's clear this. First, I will select this. No, I don't want this. Let's try it this way. No, it won't work. We'll have to select it manually. Sometimes SolidWorks just doesn't offer the correct menu or selection option. I can see that I have missed one. We'll fix this. I will find this one here I'm missing. I will right-click and edit this feature and select this one here. This is probably the reason why I didn't get a good quick selection menu. Let's add another fillet to this edge. And now, again, I have to go and try and find it. It looks like I will have to do it manually again. Luckily, there aren't too many instances. There it is. I missed one here. And I have to add fillets to these edges also. So 1 millimeter. And again, I'll have to do this manually. But maybe there's an easier way. Let's delete these two fillets, and I'll first select this edge here. It's like another one. Let's see what SolidWorks is offering. Let's confirm this. Then let's add fillets to this edge here. Sometimes you have to find a way to be able to add fillets to each one of these edges, because sometimes SolidWorks won't allow you. But if you change the order of the fillets, you will be able to add them. So if you try one order and it's not working, you can try another one. It will probably work. It looks like I missed one. Here it is, the last one. I can add another fillet to this edge here, make it 0.5. Also 0.5 millimeters to this edge. You can save this part. If you remember, we added a glue for the O-ring on the bottom cap. Now we have to create the same thing on the casing, so we will do it here. Let's go to front line, right-click sketch. I will draw this sketch here using a line tool. Let's go upwards, here, downwards. And as we can see, I need a center line here. I can see that from here to the center of this line. I can say that this dimension here is 111.13. This here is 45 degrees, and this line is 4.75. Now, I have the axis of revolution, and I have the sketch for revolt cuts. Let's go to Features, Revolt Cut. By default, everything is selected. Let's just confirm the command. Now I want to move this face outwards a bit, so let's go to the Surface Move Face. If not here, you can find it Move Face. This one I wanted offset outwards, 1.1 or 3 millimeters. There it is. And now we can add a thread here, which will be used to connect the casing to the bottom cap. Let's go to Features, Fred. If you don't have it, you can search for it in the command bar. I wanted to start here. Also from this phase. And here I wanted 270 degrees up to selection. I want it up to this edge. And we want the same thread, of course. Let's confirm this command. Here it is. This looks good. Now we want to create a thread on this surface here. But first, I have to move this phase. Let's go to the Surface, Move Phase. I wanted to offset the same value outwards. But first, I want to create a groove for the O-ring here, also. So let's go to the front plane sketch, get it from the front view, and we can change this wireframe. Here I will draw a center line from the center of this line upwards. Let's create a sketch for the group. Here I can make a center line from the center of this horizontal line and make this vertical. This line is 4.62. These two should be equal. This line is 2.64. We have a 10-degree angle here, and we have to position this. What I'll do is first add a 0.44 fillets to these edges. And let's say from this point here, 113.40. Okay, and now I'll change back to make the part visible. And let's just revolve this sketch axis of revolution will be designed here. And we have got out for the O-ring. Now we can add the thread. Let's go to Features Thread. I want the thread to start from this edge and this face up to this face here, but I want it offset 1 millimeter to the other direction. And we want the same inch die cut thread. I just confirm this command. Save the part, and we are finished with the casing. Now the next thing we want to create is the top cap. See how it looks like. It also has these small cuts to make the grip of the finger better. We have a thread. It's quite a simple part. Again, let's make a new part. Let's create this sketch on the top plane. So I'll create two circles. First one will be 120 millimeters in diameter, and the second 140. Let's create another sketch here. First, I will add a circle, make it 133 millimeters in diameter, and let's change this to construction geometry, and I'll offset it 0.15 outwards. And then simply convert this outer edge. We can extrude these 10 millimeters. Let's save this part also. We can call it top cap. Now let's create a sketch here, convert this outer edge, and offset this sketch outwards, 0.25. And that's extruded 5 millimeters in depth, but in the other direction. And now we want to create those small cuts all around the circle to get a better grip. For the hand, I'll start by bringing a sketch on this space here. I can draw a center line from the origin to here, and let's create a rectangle. Let's make the center of the rectangle, and this line coincident. We can make this point 5. And I can show this sketch from the previous feature from this previous boss extrude where I have this inner circle, and I can make the center of this line and that circle coincident. And there we go. I can simply add a dimension. Here maybe 1 millimeter to make this a fully defined sketch. And I can cut this now. See if this will have an effect on this area here. There it is. And now, we can create a circular pattern and hide this sketch. Again, the inner pattern, circular pattern. For the edge, I can select this inner one. It should be a circle, and I want this pattern 500 times. Let's go to Features and select this. Or what I could have done is open this drop-down menu and select this character. You can see that it's going to create this, cut 500 times all around the cylinder. Let's add chamfer here to this edge, but make it 2 millimeters. We can add 1 millimeter fillet here, and another one to this edge. Next thing, we can add a 0.5 chamfer to this edge. Here it is. Now we have to move this phase outwards. We will go here, select this one, and offset it by 1.143 millimeters. But in the other direction, so outwards. Let me just check once more and confirm this. And now we can add thread features. We want the true fret. I want it starting from this edge, this phase to 70. I can simply say that we want this fret extruded. And we want this to be natural. We will simply rotate this. Let's go to Surface, Move, Face, rotate this face. Around this edge, I will say 60 degrees, and flip the direction. And let's just add 1 millimeter fillet to this edge. And this is the top cap. We can save this part also. The last thing we need to create is the internal. So a dummy. So let's do it. Make a new part. Start by sketching on toppling. This sketch should be similar to the one we used for the casing. Let's make a vertical center line. Say that it is 52 millimeters long. I'll create a circle here and make it 88 millimeters. In diameter, make its center and the origin horizontal. Make it coincident to this line. And I have to add several more lines like this. From here to the outer edge, we have 100, and we have 6 millimeters in radius fillets in these edges. We just have to trim away this axis of circle. We can extrude this 190.5 millimeters. And let's create a sketch here. I will simply convert these and make a 3-point arc here, and make the arc tangent to this outer edge, and simply extrude this 107 millimeters in these directions. Let's save this part. Now we have all the components we need to create the entire flashlight enclosure. So we will begin by importing the casing into the assembly. Let's find it. Here it is. Let's go here to the drop-down menu and select Make Assembly from Part. Let's find it here and simply import the part. We can import the internals, for example. So it's going to insert components, just drag it somewhere. You can say that these two circles are concentric. For example, we can make the front of the plane of the internals and the assembly front plane parallel and make these two surfaces coincident. Okay, next, we can import to the bottom cap. We can use this edge and this surface and make them concentric. We have these two surfaces. Make them coincident. I can rotate the bottom cap, but I don't want this to happen. I can simply say, for example, the front plane of the bottom cap. The front plane of the assembly should be also parallel. Next thing we need is the top cap. So insert components, top cap. Here it is. We can use this cylindrical surface and this one and make them coincident. And you can see that I can rotate the top cap. So let's, again, make the front plane of the top cap and the front plane of the assembly parallel. We can save this assembly. Let's call it a flashlight enclosure. Here we go. But we are still missing 3 more parts. One of them is the glass here on the top and 2 O-rings, which are supposed to be fitted in these holes here. Since these parts are off the shelf, you can find the 3D models on the Sales Guy website. And we found them exactly there. So here is the glass. What I can do is simply copy it from this assembly. I will select it here in the design tree, hold Ctrl and C, and copy it into this new assembly I created. If you cannot see the part anymore, here in the design tree, you just click it and these arrows appear. You can simply use them to drag the part outwards. Let's see how we can create this. But first, let's position it correctly. So I need it here on this surface. I will have to also make the front planes parallel to have a fully defined position of the glass. Let's save it. Since this is supposed to be glass, it's supposed to be seen through. The way I can do it is here by going to Appearances, and you can find Clear Glass. You can drag it here on the top or just here in the design tree. You can see that now it has become transparent. Next thing I have to do is import the O-rings. So I can go back to this existing assembly and copy it from here. I have to insert it into the groove. If this is parallel, I have this axis which I can use for mating, but not that way. I need it to be concentric. The ones I created are not good, so I have to delete these. Let's see if I can move the O-ring. I can. So I will use this axis from the O-ring and cylindrical surface of the casing and make these two coincident. Now, I can make a section view and drag the O-ring upwards and see if I can make this and this tangent. But maybe I can flip this alignment, and there it is. This one is in the position where it's supposed to be. Let's add the other one. Let's copy it from this existing assembly. Let's hold Ctrl and V, and we can see the front plane, and this front plane are parallel. We can use the axis and the cylindrical surface. Now we can make a cross section here. Again, drag this O-ring downwards somewhere around here. Let's see if I can make them tangent. There we go. We have positioned the O-rings. We can hide this sketch now and turn off the cross section. With this, we are done. We have created this flashlight enclosure by creating the casing, the dummy internals, the bottom, and the top cap, and we have imported into the assembly these 3 off-the-shelf parts, the glass and these 2 O-rings. Thank you for watching this tutorial, and I hope you like it. I hope I'll see you in the next one.